Oh my God, I'm shaking right now. It is done. I just gave my notice to my job. Oh man, it feels incredibly scary and incredibly freeing. I've had a handful of wild experiences and some amazing conversations with friends who love me, and I feel I've been comfortable for far too long, and it's time to shake some things up and make a change. So I just gave my notice. I don't know what the future looks like, but I'm 100% sure it's not this, which is why I feel good. And I have been extending and prolonging leaving here for a very long time out of comfort. And for someone that has not had stability in their life very much, this was a almost 3-year spurt of consistency. And I'm proud of that. And now I've definitely been comfortable for a long time, and I'm ready to move on to what's next and actually start to build my life around what brings me the most joy. So I'm gonna take a little sabbatical through the holidays, and then things will align. I'm in the thick of it. This is exciting. The possibility, all the visions that are running through my mind of what could be possible. All of that excites me. But it's exactly that terrifies me, because right now I'm in a position where there's nothing stopping me from going out and doing what I want. Which means I have no one to blame but myself if I don't do what I say or accomplish what I want for my life. Which that pressure is terrifying. It's all these ideas of what that would mean, how embarrassing that would be. And that is the work. That is the process of what I get to lean into and learn to cope with and act, even though I feel those things, to process them and let them move through me, and then do what I got to do to act anyway. So to me, here's the mindset. It's, would I be willing to fucking die for what I want? Now, you don't have to be willing to die, but would I be willing is the question. Because if I'd be willing to die for what I want, then anything else is easy. So it's just like the matter of the question of how bad do I want it? And I don't know yet if I could say I'd be willing to die for the things I want, but would I be willing to do the things that feel like death? I'm getting there. Would I be willing to risk it all and fucking go for it and risk the embarrassment of being a failure? You know, would I be willing to go through the embarrassment and the social rejection, and the fear of what that would mean for being a potential dating candidate, and what type of woman would be attracted to me if I'm 33 and struggling financially and don't have my life together, and living out of a truck, whatever. Would I be willing to risk what everyone thinks of me to go after what I want? The answer for me is yes to all those things. I'd be willing to do all that. So, fuck, I'm going for it. Aside from that, I guess it's the question of how long am I willing to do that for? For me, the decision of what I'm willing to risk is contextual, based on the circumstances of my life. And I could reevaluate that decision at some point and may no longer be willing to risk those things. And that's okay. Right now, at this point in my life, I'm 30. I have no debt. I have no children, and I have no girlfriend. I'm willing to literally risk it all for what I want. So quick pause in the video, cut into 60 days later from when I initially filmed those. I am realizing, after hearing all the things I said in those videos, how the fears I was sharing that I had, it's crazy how really all those are just in my head. Fast forward 60 days later, none of those fears have come true. No one's rejected me. No one's thought I was crazy. No one's judged me or laughed at me. And these are all the things I've been afraid of, because if those things happened, what would it mean? Well, for me, it would mean that ultimately I'd end up alone. People would reject me. And if I was rejected, I'd end up alone. If I ended up alone, then I wouldn't want to live anymore, because that feeling and that pain is unbearable. And ultimately, I'd want to kill myself. So this is the pain cycle, or the emotional cycle, that has been repetitive for me throughout my life. And so actually having the ability to look back on these videos, it's crazy that really the only person's opinion that I've really been worried about is my own. But I've been trying to collect enough evidence and validation through others, that if others would accept me and appreciate me and not reject me enough, that eventually I could get to a point where I collected enough evidence that I could feel good enough to love or appreciate or respect myself. But what's wild is 60 days later, I have more respect and I feel more successful. And right now I got no income. I'm living in a truck. And I'm 30 years old. But this shit is wild. Like, it really also sunk in for me that, like, right before I cut the edit to film this, I really don't have much to risk. Like I said, I'm debt free. I got no responsibilities, hardly any bills, because I own everything I have. There is no better time, and I couldn't possibly be better positioned to build every aspect of the life I want. And I keep talking about failure in the videos as I'm watching them, and that's like, what even is failure? Failure is just quitting. And why would I ever quit going after what I want? Like, shit may happen in my life, and I may need to adapt the speed at which I can move towards what I want. But as long as I keep taking steps, it doesn't matter what happens in my life, I'll just adapt. So really, there's like no way to lose unless I quit. And for me, the only thing that would drive me to quit, and my only challenge up to this point, has been the emotional barriers that are within myself for how I judge me. And I judge me critically when I fall short, or I'm not good enough at something, or someone's better than me. And it's all these patterns that are being brought up from, for me, a lot of my childhood and how I related to sports and whatnot. So, man, this is the work. This is the fun. And I'm excited to be going through this. And I don't know, I just had to drop some thoughts. It was mind-boggling for me, and a huge wake-up call watching this, how far I've come in 60 days, and how my relationship to failure, my relationship to myself, the compassion I have for me to get started, and how I'm putting content out. You know, this is why I've been sharing how this is so challenging for me. You know, giving myself permission to suck at something and to fail, or look like I don't know what I'm doing. This has been incredibly difficult, but these are the first steps for me. And once I can get over my emotional resistance, the rest is a wrap, man. The rest is a wrap. So, I don't know. I rambled. I don't know if much of that made sense, but I ain't even going to edit this. I'm going to pop it in there for those that listen. Cool. Let's get back to the original video. And that shit excites me, which is why I'm going to be eating on a $20 budget a week, living out of my camper, and give my dreams a fucking go. You know, there actually ain't much to worry about. And in all fairness, fuck anyone who wants to judge or laugh or think it's silly if I do struggle. I don't know how long it's going to take to accomplish what I want. Shit may pop off way faster than I think. I could have this long-term mindset and 5-10 year plan, and maybe shit pops off in 3 to 6 months. That'd be great. But I'm planning at least 3 to 5 years to have steady traction in what I want and really be experiencing the fruits of entrepreneurship. So this is day one. Why am I talking about this right now? It's because it's my last day at my job. I'm quitting. So I'm feeling a whole lot of fear around the fact that I don't have a guaranteed paycheck coming in. That feels a little nerve-wracking. And so this idea of, I gotta trust. I gotta put value out into the world and trust that it's gonna be met and received, and that I'll be taken care of. So here we go. All right, here we are. It's my final moments before I head out. Everyone pick one moment real quick that we reflect on. 10 seconds.
We're on the group ride, the second one, and you fell down on your bike and you're like stuck upside down.
Oh, at the coffee shop? So this is what happens when you have clip-ins and you forget. But fortunately, only one person showed up to this group ride, so the embarrassment was minimal. Clip in upside down.
Yeah.
That one was awesome. How about for you, Frankie? Best moment with all of us together?
Best moment riding Calavera as a squad.
Yeah, that was sick.
That shit was so sick. Watching my ass go over the handlebars. Fly's clutch chain brake because I did not want to go up that hill.
Well tapped.
And Lance fucking smoking a cigarette before the ride.
For me, for a while, my favorite moments were the commitment we all made for 8 Saturdays in a row to get here at 7 o'clock to go on bike rides together.
Yeah.
And then spend an hour on personal development, learning how we can get better in life and job.
That was true dedication.
Me and you working out together for the last 2-3 weeks.
Fuck yeah, man.
It's been fun, man. Cheers to you. Shout out to the lads, especially Frankie, who put together a surprise dinner for me, just to honor me and celebrate me for the time at my previous company with them. And you know, over the last 60 days, there's been several key moments like this where friends have gone out of their way to show tons of support and love. And I've had numerous conversations and emotional breakdowns processing through the decisions I've made and the fears that have come up. And it's been awesome, really, the network of support that I have. And truthfully, I could say I would have stopped much long ago in this process if I didn't have the people I do in my life. So this definitely is not a solo mission. It is definitely not a one-man team. Shout out to all you homies who have had my back. So you will be a part of my why as I continue See, this is what family does.